We interviewed over 350 executives from many different organizations. You can see them. We collected over 1 million data points through our different partners. And we also were very privileged to be able to get support from a number of different academic partners, including, just a shout out again to the University of Toronto Rotman School of Management. And what we found, and this was really quite encouraging for us, is that when we look at doing hard things in a human way, we look at that in the context of bringing compassion to our leadership, being able to be a benefit, being able to create that sense of care, but also wisdom, the ability to be able to do things that need to be done to be able to support the success of our business. And what we can find, and you can see that in the graph here, is that when we are a compassionate leadership, it's good. When we're a wise leadership, it's good. But when we're able to combine both of those things, and that's really what you see in terms of the teal bars on this graph, when we're able to combine compassion and wisdom, our employees have significant benefits in terms of job satisfaction, in terms of organizational commitment, in terms of engagement, in terms of their satisfaction with us as leaders, and all other things that are so critical for us today. So this is really what we wanted to start with, is that there's so much benefit when we can have that multiplication impact of being compassionate and wise in our leadership. So just to be able to help us as we start to get into this topic today is looking at some definitions. So when we look at sort of the landscape of compassion, we can look at the difference between our willingness to take action versus our connection with other human beings. And what we see is we can start at the bottom with a sense of pity. I feel sorry for you. Not a lot of willingness to act and not a lot of ability to be able to connect with other human beings. Moving up, we can see the sense of sympathy. I feel sorry for you. Then moving up, and I really want to take a moment to just stop and look at empathy, because there has been so much discussion, and it is so important to be able to bring empathy in our leadership. And the way that we see that from a definitional perspective, it's the ability that we have as human beings to connect and resonate with another human beings in terms of their feelings. So I feel with you, I feel your pain, or I feel your joy. And this is incredibly important for us. But what we've seen in the research is that empathy actually has some downsides. What we know is that it's easier for us to empathize with people that look like us than with people that don't. We can also over-index on empathy, be so empathetic, feel somebody suffering so much that we actually start to suffer ourselves. And so the key thing for us, and when we look at the definition of compassion, is we define it as the intention to be of benefit. So it's really about being able to say, okay, I can see that you're struggling, but I am here to help. And sometimes from a leadership perspective, compassionate action can actually be doing nothing at all, because me as a leader recognize that the best thing that I can do is actually let you figure out things for yourself. So empathy plus that willingness to act is how we look at compassion. And just to be able to put this in the context of one of the leaders that we interviewed, this is Paul Pullman, the former CEO of Unilever. And to put it into context, what he said, and you can read the quote there, he said that if I would empathize with all of my employees, I would never be able to make a single decision. You need to have empathy, but you need to run a business with compassion. So that's really, the key thing that we saw is that modern leadership today requires what we call both and leadership, the ability to be genuinely caring and kind and warm and considerate with that intention to be of help, but at the same time, having that wisdom to do what needs to be done.